What's up, music fans of the internet? I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And together we are last week's album, the only reviews with two different views. And in this episode, we're talking about the new album by Bleached called Welcome the Worms and exploring the big question, does this album welcome the earworms? Let's get into it. Cheers, Derek, and everyone else at home.
Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
Bleached are a sort of pop punk band based in Los Angeles, California. They're actually led by two sisters, Jennifer and Jessica Clavin, who each play guitar, Michaela Grace on bass. You might know the Clavins from their previous band called Mika Miko. Welcome the Worms is Bleached's second album. It's hard to say. Bleached is.
I was just thinking that. I was like, that is all sorts of weird.
Welcome the Worms is Bleached's second album, following their 2013 debut, Ride Your Heart. Let's talk about what it sounds like. Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, I think Bleached sounds like the Ramones meets the Runaways meets an angrier, assertive Weezer.
I think this sounds like the Bangles, Best Coast, and Bass Drum of Death host a rager in the desert.
Maybe Burning Man?
Ooh, I like that. All right, let's talk about some highlights. Derek, what did you like?
I really liked Sleepwalking, Wednesday Night Melody, and Sour Candy. Sleepwalking had just driving electric guitars, an absolutely banging bass guitar, hints of Rancid's Matt Freeman, and some subtle synths, which was really a nice wrinkle. Wednesday Night Melody had kind of a slower beat at first, fueled by bass, snare, drums, and electric guitar blast with vocal ba-ba-ba-bas. And this really reminded me a lot of Weezer here. And one lyric I really liked, they say, soaking waves from the grave. I just thought that was very oddly macabre chill for them. And lastly, Sour Candy, an intro featured dueling electric guitar riffs, verses that took on a strong Ramones vibe, and another really strong vocal melody in the chorus. And lyrics were kind of interesting. I think they were talking about getting into cars with boys.
Maybe with boys and drugs.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll agree on one of these tracks, Derek, Sour Candy. The other highlights for me were Keep On Keepin On and Desolate Town. Keep On Keepin On I thought was a great intro to the record. It had these sort of Bangles vibes, but with a much darker, punkier edge. Sour Candy, sugary, sweet pop hooks, but also edgy and self-reflective lyrics, which I thought made it nice. And then finally, Desolate Town is a very aptly named track, as it's the darkest one on the record. It's grungy, psychedelic, and weird in all the right ways. Let's talk about some lowlights. What's on your list, Derek?
Speaking of psychedelic and weird, and maybe not in all the right ways, I'm All Over the Place, or parenthetically Mystic Mama. For me, it just kind of lived up to its name and was a little too all over the place for me.
There are actually two for me that I thought were lowlights. Trying to Lose Myself Again and Chemical Air. It's not that they were bad songs. It's just so many tracks on here are just earworms and catchy as hell. And those two just didn't feel as strong. They weren't as memorable to me. All right, that brings us to overall rating and answering the big question, does Bleached bring the earworms on Welcome the Worms? Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, absolutely. Good things. I really love the punk rock sounds here. They really use a lot of different elements or highlights from that genre's history. Really strong pop-oriented melodies delivered with a cool, nonchalant sneer. And great lyrics, vivid and at times seemingly outrageous. They really transition things well and a lot of times turn those into incredibly insightful and relatable moments. So I really dug this. The more I listen to it, the more I'm really enjoying it immensely. So I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5.
Nice. We will agree for the most part. I think, do they bring the earworms? Absolutely. The adrenaline here is palpable. I think it makes the record's theme of resilience hit even harder. They're more confident and self-assured than their debut, and this one's also a lot more punk and straightforward rock and roll than their more surfy debut. And they're not afraid to go pop, catchy hooks, crunchy riffs, even oohs and hand claps that Derek mentioned earlier. But I think they balance those pop tendencies with a darkness, both lyrically and musically. And the lyrics don't try too hard to be clever, but I think their shameless honesty works and goes deep when appropriate. And I think this is a great album for a sunny day by the pool. And I agree with you, Derek. It has really grown on me. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 as well. So that's a combined 8 out of 10 for Welcome the Worms by Bleached. Definitely check out this album and let us know what you think about it. And don't forget to subscribe to us here at Last Week's Album, either on the YouTube channel or the podcast. As always, I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek.
Cheers, guys. We'll see you next time.